Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of FaceTurn with Candace, Cordelia, a PWI Presents production. Today, I have someone who you probably have seen all across your television screens, as well as live, as she has performed for so many different wrestling promotions. We had her at number 52 on the 2021 PWI Women's 150 list. Please welcome one of my absolute favorites, Lady Frost. Lady Frost, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I am so excited to have you here. And as I was expressing before we got into this, you've been someone that I've wanted to interview for quite some time. So I'm really excited that we can do this on this bright, beautiful, sunny day, at least here in Philadelphia. I don't know if you're in Pittsburgh. I know that's where you're originally from, but it's really wonderful here. So I'm hoping everything is good with you.
Everything is good. It's been pretty sunny here in Pittsburgh. We've had some rain. It's a cloudy day today, but nothing stops me from getting in my new pool, which I'm sure everyone is very aware of this summer. We spent a lot of time out there. Our dogs learned to swim. They love it. So
Oh my goodness. Now, how has that been, training your dogs to swim and keeping guard? It's pretty much like having children. So you want to make sure they're okay and that everything is, fine and they're having fun.
they are our big fluffy children for sure. They do wear little life vests. They're really cute. It's like a goldfish and a shark fin and a ladybug. We rotate, and they have a blast.
That's so cute. Now, what are their names? We love animals here at PWI. So please excuse me if I'm getting into the whole animal spiel right now.
No, this is great. You want to talk about dogs? Perfect. Ollie is the boy and Lumi is the girl. And I have a really cool story about Lumi. A fan actually named her, and it directly translates to the word snow. And I kind of like it because it's like luminescence, light of your life. So, but it means snow. So I thought it was really cool that a fan gave me that suggestion and I took it.
That's really nice. That's amazing. I love that. And you talk about your fans giving you suggestions for your pets' names. One thing that we all, especially here at PWI, have noticed over the years is that you have such a loyal fan base. They follow you wherever you go, no matter which promotion you end up with. And it's really, really amazing to see, because your start, when I was doing your research, there were so many fascinating things that I found that, of course, you can't find on social media. And one of the things that I love about your backstory is that, your first professional match, 2018, WWE Monday Night Raw, against Asuka, which is, who can count that as having that being their first professional wrestling match? Now in 2022, looking back at that experience, what are your thoughts about that and having that as, the first professional wrestling match of your career?
So I think it was crazier before AEW Dark started, because now I feel like a lot of people get shots there, even though it's taped. But I do feel like it was really, really crazy. I think it was the only person ever to debut on national television that wasn't someone like Ronda Rousey. It was wild. I cut a promo, and that was, to me, like, this is it, fight or flight, right? You're gonna succeed or you're gonna fail. But it was incredible. That feeling is something that I probably will continue to chase, because there were 13,000 fans, and it was really humbling to go right back to the indies and start from the bottom, still like everyone else. But having that moment changed my perspective and changed my desires and how badly I wanted that again.
That's so fascinating. Was there any advice that you received, even from Asuka, perhaps, or any of the other superstars while you were backstage, that you still take with you as you are going along your journey in your pro wrestling career?
I didn't really get a lot of advice. I was very, very shy. I don't know if, people know about extra work, especially there. It's intimidating. Your stuff like under the stairs, or like you don't have locker rooms, those kind of things. So it's very much like you just keep to yourself. Especially, I didn't know anyone. Nowadays it's different. I feel like we've met people and you can have conversations with people. But yeah, I really just tried to be respectful and nod my head or say hello in the hallway, and then just like go back to my corner and just try to not cause any commotion.
Absolutely. It's kind of like extra work for an acting production as well, right? Like television and film, you're kind of thinking, okay, I'm just going to do my thing, just be respectful of the space of everyone else, and just mind my P's and Q's, and just do the job and do the best that I can. So completely understandable on that front. But also, okay, so you're saying that you were kind of shy. I don't know if this is a part of your personality, but how did your journey in wrestling start? What was the catalyst for you in which you were thinking, I want to be a professional wrestler when I grow up?
So it was all my husband. We had met at a fitness convention actually and started dating. And he actually had his pro boxing debut. And I went to that. And then he said, hey, I'm going to have this professional wrestling match. So I kind of just went from boxing to wrestling, and we are in the middle of West Virginia at like, some fire hall, like, how indie wrestling goes. And I was like, what is this? Like, what did you take me to? This is awful. But I was selling t-shirts for him at the table, and a little girl came up to me, and I tell the story all the time. But it's true. Like, she just had the big beady eyes and looked up and just said, can I have your autograph? And I was like, looking like, me, what? Like, I'm just the wrestler's girlfriend. But that changed everything. Like, that feeling. I've always been an athlete and an instructor, and it's just different when you see a little girl just almost idolize you. And I did see some really cool things. Like, I saw a few wrestlers doing like acrobatic things, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I can do that. But it wasn't until I started managing him that we realized I kind of, could cut a promo. So that was really interesting. And then I loved being in between. Like, I love managing very much, even still now, because you feel the emotion from the match. You feel the emotion from the fans. You're wedged in the middle of it. There's so much intensity there that you can play off of. So I really got both sides of, like, I did think it was real at the time because, that's my now husband, but I was like, oh my God, did that hurt? Like, I had no idea. So I became a fan really, really late, but I think that is the beauty of, it's brand new to me. It is very much like a childhood, oh my God, that's real. Or did that hurt? Like, it was so believable for me being sandwiched right there in the middle of the ring as a manager. But I got in the ring, took some bumps. It was pretty natural for me. And that was it. Like, once I got in the ring, I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is game on.
That is so cool. That's really, really cool. What did your now husband, Victor Benjamin, shout out to Victor, what did he think when you told him, I want to do this. I want to be a professional wrestler and get into this field?
I think he probably pushed it along just as much as I did. I think we both kind of knew. And as soon as I was managing, he saw, my excitement for the creativity and putting packages together and writing promos out for us and trying to tell stories. And I think it helped both of us grow because we had that companion and that natural chemistry, and he loved it. And then it was just like a matter of building, and he knew, I don't know if I'm good or not, but he knew I was going to be good. So I think he pushed me more than I pushed myself, because I didn't really have a whole lot of confidence at times. And he really helped me with that, actually.
I love that. I mean, I've spoken in the past on this show with other wrestling couples, and just the lifestyle of wrestling, as you obviously know, it's hard. It is very difficult. What is it about being a part of a, per se, wrestling couple is actually a benefit to you both, as opposed to being a challenge, as it already is just being not just in this industry, but being a couple in general?
I think it's much easier when we're together. I will say, when I was on television, it was really, really hard not to be able to travel with him. When we travel together, it's like a blast, right? You're with your best friend, you put whatever music on, you're singing like goofballs, and, we're meal prepping for each other. And it's just, it's so easy. Like, you have an extra extension of yourself. Like, there's two of me or there's two of him. So it makes everything easier, I feel like, and you get to share. And it's also a sounding board, right? When you're frustrated, or it's, hey, I have this match. Like, what about this spot? What about this spot? And you always have that person to just bounce everything off of. It's so much better when we get to travel together.
I could imagine. And you also work together as a tag team. pretty proper, which sounds like so much fun. It sounds amazing to be able to work with one another and to also share the experience with one another as well, and to go back home and say, hey, that was great, or hey, I don't know, that kind of sucked, or whatever the case may be.
Most conversations are, oh my God, that was awful. We always do that. No, but it is fun. Like, he just picks me up and uses me as a weapon, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you also have that trust factor too. I would assume, like, there's more trust that's built being a part of a tag team, and I would just hope that it also translate to being a couple as well, which is really nice. Not a lot of people can say that they can build that trust in the ring and have it help them outside of the ring. Are there any really funny stories about being on the road that you can think of? Because I see you both on Twitter, and you're both really hilarious. Like, seeing the back and forth, and I'm like, there has to be a funny story that has occurred.
They're endless. I think the cool thing about Twitter now, you see people like, oh, well, just be a babyface if you're a babyface. Just be a heel if you're a heel. And like, listen, we're people, right? Like, everyone knows that we're a married couple, and it's, you have to do whatever you have to do in the wrestling world story-wise. But for us, I think we're us. You see, like, all of the peanut butter stuff and all of the married fights, and like, that's more entertaining almost, I think, and refreshing for fans, because it's not acting. It's not, we're not getting anything out of it. We just get to enjoy messing with each other and like taking pictures when someone's sleeping, and I don't know, it's just more fun. And then I feel like we connect to fans on a more genuine level, right? It's not the fans are connecting to Victor and Lady Frost. It's they're actually connecting to us and things that happen in our real life every single day. And I think that's part of the reason why I have such awesome fans, because we let them in. If you keep people at a distance, or you're always in character, it's hard to actually make true connections with people. But meet and greets are awesome, because people will tell us stories like, oh my God, I followed you because of this, or I don't know, like, you get better interactions, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. I love hearing that, because that seems to be a really hot topic on social media today, especially in terms of, should we know about wrestlers' personal lives? For instance, I think it was yesterday, I just saw this being brought up on Twitter, and it's not the first time that I've seen the topic being addressed. And of course, everyone has their own opinion, but I love the fact it's really refreshing that for you and your husband, you're cool with it. You have no problem just expressing yourselves both inside the ring and outside, which is cool. Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a line. We don't really try to bring up topics that are controversial, like, unless someone really directly asks, but it's no one's, business. It's wrestling, right? And I think we try to toe the line of how much we put out there, and how open we are, but it's still us at the end of the day, right? Like, when the fans meet us, I want them to meet who they think they know on Twitter. Right? I don't want it to be like a completely different person. That's like catfishing. You're like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be bad guys. Well, I don't like being mean to people in real life all the time. Like, you're here to spend money and interact with me. Like, I'm not going to treat you like shit. There are some people that are really good at it. I don't want to do that. So
you're like, I'm in my lane and I'm going to stay in it. So we love to see it. We certainly love to see it. Another thing that I found out, which I love this tidbit about your history. One of your grandfathers, Tony Marino, late grandfather, was a wrestler. He was a professional wrestler. He wrestled for NWA and the WWF, was a tag team partner with Bruno Sammartino. Was he an influence at all in your professional wrestling career?
So unfortunately, he passed before he could see me wrestle or do anything of that sort. I'm estranged from that side of the family. But I was around him my whole childhood, but it was very hush hush back then, because everything was like super secretive. He didn't share a whole lot. I did see pictures, magazines, stuff like that. He did come to one of the malls to do a signing, probably about 10, 15 years back. But before then, he wasn't very, very open. He didn't talk about wrestling. I didn't know anything about it. It's crazy that, it came full circle that I became an adult and then realized, holy cow, I'm doing the same thing. And got to learn about his history and had to watch matches on YouTube. And now I hear stories from fans. which is super, super cool. But I would love to eventually get back to NWA and maybe hold a title or have, one of those meaningful matches that I feel like connects directly back to my grandfather. But it is super cool to feel like, I'm following in his footsteps, but it wasn't even really intentional.
Wow. And it's really something when life just throws you those types of curveballs, and you're thinking everything really does happen for a reason, even if you have no idea what that reason is. Like you said, it comes full circle. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk about NWA. That was one of the topics as well. Love NWA. Love what you've done over there. And your fans, certainly, they've loved seeing you on NWA Power and the NWA Empower pay-per-view, the very first one ever, in the NWA 73rd anniversary. Talk to us. Well, first of all, because NWA Empower, over the course of the few days, this was a huge topic in terms of women's wrestling. And a lot of people, myself included, want to see a second NWA Empower. We're hearing that it will happen. We don't know when, but there was a lot of topic and discussion about what we were told reportedly in terms of Mr. Corgan, Billy Corgan, stating that there just weren't enough women. There weren't enough talent for this year for that. What are your thoughts on knowing that, yourself included, there are so many women wrestlers in this industry, and we hear people say things like there's not enough talent, we can't do this, we can't do that. What are your thoughts when you hear statements like that and you see fans, getting into these really heated discussions about things of that nature?
So I love that people are passionate, right? I think it's great that people have voices and opinions, but no one really truly understands what it's like to run a business. And I don't know the extent of the truth to any of those things, or that was like a deflection for a different issue. I have no idea. We clearly know that there are enough women. There's a ton of talent out there. There really is. And the point of, I think, some of those shows is to highlight the new people that maybe not even everyone even knows about yet, right? I think that's kind of where my career took off, from that pay-per-view. And I think women deserve that platform and that showcase. There's certainly enough of us out there. And, like I said, it's great to be passionate. I don't feel like the fans really always know the intent behind some things or some comments. I don't even know. Do I feel like that's accurate? No, obviously, but we can complain about every single company. I feel like every day there's a new complaint about every single top company. But on the same token, there's a compliment and something amazing happening with every single company. It's what you choose to focus on. There are bad people all over the place in every company, right? So I think we just stop focusing on that. Support the people that you want to support. Watch what you want to watch. If you don't like it, turn it off. You don't have to support 5,000 people in every company. If there's 5,000, if there's 10,000 here, you don't have to support all 10,000, right? There's always nuance with wrestling. And I think people just need to stop, trying to just ostracize and like, well, this person said this and this person did this. Who freaking cares? There's so much great wrestling. Like, enjoy the freaking wrestling. There's so much good wrestling out there. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Sorry.
No, that's a comment that we would call based. That was very based, and appreciate your candor about that. And when it comes to women's wrestling, this year is almost over, believe it or not. We are heading into 2023 and a whole new year. Unreal. I mean, time is just zipping, but we're heading into a whole new year, a whole new era. I think that a lot of people are anticipating in the wrestling business. Where would you like to see, not even just women's wrestling, but wrestling overall? How would you like to see it evolve and grow as we're entering 2023?
I think it's steadily been evolving for sure. We've been growing. There's a lot more all women's shows, pay-per-views. More of those would be nice. But I think television time is always great. And I personally love the mixed tags and intergender tags. I think it's a great dynamic, and it's something unique and different, and highlights women in a different way, that it's just not like, hey, this is a female attraction match. We're just going to have women now because we have to fulfill that quota for the show. It really kind of highlights us as wrestlers, and that's it, just wrestlers. But more TV time for all women is great.
Right on. Right on. 100%. Yes. I
Are we
think
on
we lost
delay?
you there for a little bit. That's okay.
Okay.
You're back. That was like 2
Hi.
seconds. It's all good.
Okay.
Speaking of television, because especially for those that can't go out to see you live and in person for shows, we miss you on TV. You've had a lot of excellent success, and we know that you're going to have so much more. And we've seen you, we were just talking about NWA and AEW Dark and Impact. What's next, Lady Frost? What's happening in your world? And if you can tell us anything, give us a scoop. That's what we love here at PWI.
I have no idea what's next. Honestly, I think I will be very candid. I'm one that's open about mental health, and being happy, I think, comes first, because if you don't have you, you have nothing. There is no wrestling, there's no dogs in a pool. And I know that I definitely struggle, and I think happiness comes first. And I was in a place where I was not happy mentally. So I am choosing to kind of put myself first. And honestly, I thought I was just going to quit wrestling because I was just deflated, a little brokenhearted, I think. And it wasn't until this weekend. It always happens. You have a great match or a great crowd and a great little girl, and you're fulfilled again, and you understand why we love this so much. But I feel like so much was taken away from me personally that I wasn't sure what my place was going to be. I wasn't sure if I don't know. I was heartbroken, really. But I did have a great weekend. I had 2 great shows, and I love it. I love wrestling. That's it. I know that. And I hate it sometimes. I think we all go through that. I'm very honest about that too. Like, not everything is great forever. It's a lie. If you see that, it's a lie. So yeah, I don't know what's next. I know I love my fans. I love performing. Performing is everything. So we'll see. I have no idea what's next.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I personally think it's very important to be self-aware to the point where you can admit that, because you're right. Especially on social media, the majority of people are posting all of the things that they want others to see. And it's more so the positive things. But for everything that's happening behind the scenes, not everyone talks about that. And we're
Right.
seeing more discussion in wrestling, in tennis, in so many different realms of sports and sports entertainment, where people are admitting, I need to take a break. I need to be more mentally sound for not just myself, but my loved ones and everyone around me. As you've started from the beginnings, WWE Raw 2018 to present day, and everything that you've accomplished, is there anything that you wished you could have accomplished more of? Or do you feel like you've built up a body of work that, you can sit back and say, if I were to just say, I'm done tomorrow, I'm cool with it. This is it. I can just go on into the next chapter.
So selfishly, I always want more, right? I would have loved to have been a world champion. X Division champion was like on my list of things that I wanted to accomplish. But I think mentally, personally, I feel like if I ever step away, it has to be enough. We can't ever live feeling like, I'm not good enough. That's the worst feeling in the world, feeling like you're not worthy. And at the end of the day, I hate to say this, it's not always up to us. Someone gets to choose, right? Someone else gets to choose what happens in our career. Most of the time, we can only put the work in, do what we have to do, and hope that someone sees enough from you, enough passion, enough talent, enough dedication, whatever it is. We can only give what we can give. And then it's up to someone else to give us that platform and opportunity. So I could step away and feel like I'm whole. I'm still me. I'm still insert real name here, and Lady Frost. And I would go on living and be okay. But I do, of course, want more. I do want to leave more of a legacy. I'm not done yet. Until my body shuts down or my mind shuts down, I'm still here. I have more to give. I have more to show. And I think I want to still inspire the younger generations. I want them to be looking at my crazy style, I guess, and say, I want to do those things, right? Like, I've already seen some people not stealing moves, but it's really awesome when you see what you've created and now other people are doing that. And it's like, hell yeah. Like, that's the point of this.
Exactly. And that's very, it's a candid way of looking at things, but it's also really excellent that you can say that and that you feel okay saying that. And that's really cool. What's one match that you really, you've been obviously in a ton of matches with a ton of different fellow talent. What's one match that's still on your bucket list that you just have to have happen at some point in your career?
I don't know. See, I get asked this question a lot, and I feel like I always disappoint people because I think you never know who you're going to have chemistry with. You never know who you're just going to have this barn burner with. And I think right now with intergender wrestling also, the possibilities are endless. I don't really have a dream opponent. I think, right now, the biggest female is Jade Cargill. She's freaking amazing. She's gorgeous. She's stacked. She's everything. She's a $1 million woman, right? She deserves all of it. And that would, be a huge, huge opportunity if that were to happen. But otherwise, I think give me everyone. Give me everyone.
That would be awesome. I'm here for a Lady Frost versus Jade match. AEW, and you already have that connection with AEW. So, hey, I hope this interview, we're just going to push it out into the universe and manifest it, because at this point, this has to happen. It has to happen. That would be excellent. That would be really, really great. A fun question. We're going to get off of wrestling for a minute, but what do you like to do for fun when you are not wrestling, when you're just hanging out with your husband, your dogs, you're chilling? What's one thing that Lady Frost likes to do to just kick back and relax?
Well, I just discovered I really like swimming with the dogs. That's very fun. We've been more into, and I know it's weird, it's not like fun, but it's very enjoyable. We're into recovery, right? So we just started buying like all of these recovery tools. We have a little recovery room in our house now, with red light therapy and just a whole bunch of fun toys. We call them, like, we cup each other. And it's just a way to connect to your body, heal your body. We work out for fun, and then we recover for fun. We get in the hot tub, stuff like that. That's kind of how I unwind now. Dogs are a huge, huge part of my life. They're like our kids. And I love interior design. I'm always kind of like repainting and reorganizing the house. Like, that's enjoyable for me. And we just recently started having more friends over because we were so consumed with wrestling that we kind of forgot about real life friends and family. And I said, why do we have this house and this yard and these things and no one to share it with? So I've really been trying to connect to people of all different walks of life so that I'm not in a wrestling bubble. And it's been just eye-opening, right? Like, it expands your sense of life. There's so much more out there. So
This is so healthy. I'm a huge advocate of recovery. I recently have acquired a Theragun and I'm obsessed with it now. So I'm just using it. It's so good. It is just, I'm like, okay, if I don't go get a massage like this month, I can just use that. And it's really good. And it's so healthy and it's good for your body. But I haven't gotten to cupping yet. I think I have to will myself to get to that point. I think it's seeing the marks on
the marks. I know.
Yeah.
The Theragun comes everywhere with us. Like, that's just a normal, it's in my purse or the bag. Cups are okay. Like, you just start small. There's different methods to them, but the marks go away, especially if, you're rubbing the blood and disperse it. But it's one of my favorites. Everyone has their preference. So we've been doing, cold tank hot tub, and it's contrast therapy. So you get into, I think it's 27-degree water, and then it's like an ice bath, colder than an ice bath actually, and then jump in the hot tub. So, some of these methods are extreme, like they're not fun, but it's worth it.
I mean, you both enjoy it. You and Victor, you're having fun with it. And that's what
Yeah.
matters. That's all
Yeah.
that matters. I also love the fact that we are fellow Pennsylvanians. Believe it or not, I've never been to Pittsburgh.
What?
It's so far away. I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday, and we're like, why is Pittsburgh so far from Philly? Like,
I know.
why? And we've never been to Harrisburg, but I'm hearing so many great things about the Pittsburgh Renaissance. Like, there just seems to be
Yes.
a plethora of new restaurants and new condos and apartments and homes are affordable. What is the wrestling scene like in Pittsburgh? Because I'm hearing some things. There seems to be some new promotions that have been popping up, and it seems to be a new hotbed. So do you have any thoughts about that, or are you immersed in it at all?
Well, I guess it's like a shameless plug time. We didn't tell anyone, but
No.
my hubby and I started Wrestle Pit last year, and we ran 2 shows already. We took a little break because it was crazy with my schedule, but now I have some more free time. I think we're going to start picking it back up. But wrestling in Pittsburgh is hot. There's a lot of different promotions, and I feel like they all have a different vibe, a different feel. So there's something for everyone, which is awesome. I'm definitely a person that's like more is more sometimes, because everyone fights for talent and no, you can't go here. No, you can't do this. Like, let people make money. Let people go do what they love to do. And if fans are coming, they'll enjoy it. It's great. Right? Like, we're not in territory days anymore. Like, at least that's my belief. Everyone's different. But I think the more wrestling in Pittsburgh, if people are still showing up, let them enjoy it. Let these people make money. Let the fans enjoy their favorite wrestlers. There's different flavors of ice cream. So I think it's freaking awesome. And it is really, really challenging to run wrestling shows, let me tell you.
This seems to be a common thing that we're hearing nowadays, as you've expressed so many, or at least from what I've seen on social media, especially so many people, and there's more wrestlers that are trying this new venture of having their own wrestling company, and we're starting to hear, booking is not fun, and running your own promotion is very hard work, and there's a lot that goes into it that you just don't know. Obviously, when you're starting out, you don't know. You're just in the business, you're wrestling, and that's it. So
we were duped into this. It was an accident. Like, we didn't even plan to start a company. It was someone else that wanted to run up here. It was a Texas company. And they said, hey, will you help us out? Do you want to partner? Help us get some, wrestlers, this and that. I said, yeah, I got a ring. We can do this. And then all of a sudden it just turned into us doing everything. And then we got the LLC, and, we knew the commissioner because my husband, obviously MMA, boxing. So he knew him personally very well, which was kind of easy, cool. But then we're like, oh my God, we just had a show. We did everything. And now we have a promotion, I guess. And then we did it again. And we're like, we're crazy. Why are we doing this again? But it is fun. It's different. It's a different kind of rewarding. Like, it's not just your 10-minute match or a 15-minute match that you lay out and that's all you have to offer for that day. It's really a labor of love. And so many people, the organization, like, there's just so much that goes into it that you don't, we take for granted as wrestlers, that we just like show up and leave. So yeah, it was a learning experience for sure. And then I think it helps us be better professional wrestlers, because you know what it's like to be on the other end as a booker. So you know how to make it easy, I think, on a booker when they reach out to you, because you know what terrible business is like also.
There you go. And did you find out, I don't know if you still have your fitness business, but did you find that in having that business also helped you in terms of working behind the scenes and doing a lot of the management and marketing for WrestlePit at all?
So I don't have the fitness business. When I started wrestling, it was really hard to be me, to be fit, fitness, and then wrestler, and have all these different kind of personas working.
Sure.
I kind of felt like I had to pick a direction, channel into that, and be that person. But I had a supplement line, clothing, personal training, that kind of thing. And it's very, very different than wrestling. It's very different. I think they're kind of No, I don't think they're anything alike. I'm just gonna say they're nothing alike. But as far as marketing and branding, it's important in any industry. You have to have a goal in mind. This is what we want to accomplish. This is the product that we want to put forth. This is what we want it to look like, feel like, be like. So those things, they're important everywhere.
Absolutely. Is there any kernel of advice that you can give to anyone, whether they are already a wrestler or not, that they're also thinking, might want to start a promotion. It looks fun. This might be a cool.
I always joke. I do. Like, people are like, I want to be a wrestler. I'm like, no, don't do it. No, I'm all about people just fulfilling their passion. Like, do what you want to do. Be happy. That's the most important thing. I don't care if it's selling your feet on the internet or if it's, rapping. Like, I don't care. I just want people to be happy. I think it's so, so important to do what you want to do in life. And that's it. So chase your dreams. If you want to do it, do it.
Wise words, very much so. And it's been so fun talking with you, Lady Frost. I mean, once again, you've been on my dream bucket list of someone that I've wanted to interview from this industry. And I've heard so many wonderful things about you in the past. And one of the main things is that I've heard you're such a nice person. You're very generous.
No,
so you're like lies, just straight lies. Just lies all the time. But my last question for you, Lady Frost, and we already talked about what's next, and you stated you don't know, which is completely fine because that's life. We're not, I think personally, maybe we're just not meant to know what's next, and we just we can. But something that I also want to ask, something fun is, and this is just off the wall, but what is your favorite television show? We're going to end the beat on this.
I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I'm trying to think.
That. Or a movie. Favorite movie.
So I'm also one of these weirdos that doesn't watch their favorite movie over and over and over. Like people, they memorize all of. I don't know. I really enjoyed Meet Joe Black. It's a really bizarre, different, right? Not super popular, but that one always kind of resonated with me. It was really cool, different. But yeah, I don't have favorites. I try to just keep moving on to new things, right? Like I'm not a big hold on to the past, watch the same things, eat the same things. Like I don't feel like you grow that way, right? Like I always want something different, new, give me new information, a new mindset, and that helps you grow, at least in my perspective.
Loving that. You know what? I lied. I'm going to end it on this because you just stated something that was really profound. So I'm going to ask this last question. What is something new that you've learned recently?
I'm not allowed to talk about it actually. I wanted to say it, but I do want to get into stunt work. Like motion capture, stunt work, that kind of stuff. That's really exciting to me because I realize how much I just like being an athlete and a performer. It's not so much about the fame. I don't have to be Lady Frost. I want to do what I enjoy doing. And if it's jumping out of a plane, fighting someone in a movie, that's all really, really cool to me. So I might be dabbling in that direction now.
So we got a little bit of a tidbit scoop. I'll take it. And you're also a much more brave person than I am when it comes to flying, or rather jumping out of a plane. I will never do that. I'm afraid of heights. So kudos to you, Lady Frost, for all of us.
I will say, if you don't want to feel stuck in the ozone, in the middle of the earth with no way out, it's not for you. Jumping out of the plane, insane, amazing. Give me the adrenaline rush all day, but then floating for 5 minutes in the air, just stuck there in the air. That's what I felt. I was like, okay, I need to get down now. I'm just in the middle of the earth. Get me down.
I would have already fainted at that point. So, what? It was jumping out the plane and then waking up on the ground I guess I did it. And that's it. Thank you so much, Lady Frost. It's been a pleasure talking with you. I can't wait to see what's next. And I'm sure all of our wonderful PWI viewers can't wait to see either. And no matter where you end up, we are rooting for you. And we cannot wait to see exactly where you end up, no matter where it is. So thank you for being a part of FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. And thank you all for watching this awesome episode of FaceTurn with Candace Cordelia, where we present you with exclusive interviews with all of your favorite wrestlers and other personalities in the industry. Stay tuned for the next episode. But until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you later.